Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I wanted to discuss Danzig's Circle of Snakes. Now this record came out, oh my god, back in the early 2000s, I think. Yes, it was 2004. This would be his last release until I believe it was 2010 or 2011 with Death Red Sabbath, because despite the fact that there are some of the best songs Danzig has ever written on here by way of Skin Carver, Thousand Devil's Reign, Hell Mask, My Darkness, Netherbound, and Black Angel, White Angel, Danzig's voice sounds labored. It sounds thin. He sounds like he hasn't been looking after it in some time, and it's starting to catch up with him, and he needs a break. Because despite the fact that I love these tracks, the fact that his voice sounds as weathered as it does, it knocks them down a peg or two, because Danzig's voice, considering that he's like the evil Elvis Presley, it's such an integral part of his sound that the second you could hear that these tracks shouldn't have been recorded because his voice was starting to sound weathered, it's like I said, it knocks them down somewhat, and that shouldn't be, because I love some of the songs on here. Some of the songs on here, like I said, it's the best stuff Danzig's ever done as far as I'm concerned. And it takes a real hit because his voice sounds not thin, but it just sounds like he's having a rough time getting through the tracks. And that's something I'm not really accustomed to, because traditionally, everybody I've ever been into, they've always taken the time to look after their voice, or, look after their fingers if they're focusing more on playing instruments, and they've always taken their craft that seriously. And this really caught me off guard because, like I said, I'm not used to that, because I expected more from Danzig, and he really let his voice go, and you could hear it on this album. And he did have to take 6-7 years off and give it time to recuperate. And now I will argue that he came back really strong on Death Red Sabbath, so it was worth the break. It was a worthwhile wait as well. I just wish that it hadn't had to happen in the first place, because had Danzig just taken the signs that his voice needed a break more seriously earlier on, perhaps we wouldn't get a record where his voice sounded so distressed. And it's like I said, that's a really weird thing to say, because I can't think of another album where anybody's voice sounds damaged. And, well, unless that's, the way they're supposed to sound. Talking about somebody who shouldn't be recording a record, but they did it anyways. This is the only one that I can think of where Danzig he didn't take the time needed to let his voice heal, and he released Circle of Snakes anyways. And it doesn't do it all the justice it deserves, because these songs are great, but his voice isn't. And that's a weird scene. Because like I said, I never thought, I can't think of another band or anybody ever who's ever released a record when their voice wasn't at 100%, especially somebody whose vocals are as integral as Danzig's. It's a little weird and somewhat disconcerting, because it's like, it shows how Danzig probably just doesn't listen to anyone ever. And it's on full display here that he fucked up large, because these songs, it's almost, I could make the argument that these songs should be re-recorded and re-released when his voice had healed up, because, like, I love this record, and I just wish his voice didn't sound so rough, I guess. But yeah, so, yeah, that's a really weird thing to wrap your head around. I can't think of another band that's done that. Danzig with Circle of Snakes is the only record I can think of where the person's voice is like bottoming out, and they wrote and recorded and released the record anyways. So, all right, look, I'm going to go. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I discussed Danzig's 2004 effort, Circle of Snakes. If you liked this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. If you agree with me and you think that Danzig should have taken a break, let me know in the comments. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that's really going to disagree. If you know this album, you know his voice sounded awkward and weathered and he needed a break. But, hey, do you agree with me? Do you think these songs should be re-recorded? Because I definitely do, because some of the songs on here I just love. But, yeah, so I'm going to go. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Oh, my God. I'm getting OLD. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.